Germans would unalive me. But yeah, I think Czech beer is superior. Tell us how much you love summer.
Love it a lot. Best season ever. The longer days, love it. Doesn't affect my sleep at all. The wasp flew in, I'm like, oh god. Then I opened my door and like, can you please just show yourself out? I don't want to deal
Petition.
with you. Yeah, petition. Got one time I have 5 flies in my kitchen. I'm like, dude, I was so pissed off. Servus, ich bin Gui. I'm Gui.
Hallo, ich heiße Esther. My name is Esther. This is
Britain.
Un Karipop.
And we are 2 Malaysians living in Germany. And we're talking about Germany stuff. So,
And also Europe in general.
Yes,
Yeah.
Europe in general. And probably Malaysia a lot as well.
And surprisingly Singapore for some reason.
Yeah, oh no. Okay. Shit, I want to talk about Singapore tangent.
Sure.
So I ended up with...
See, case in point, we talk about Singapore.
That's exactly why I... But then, so this... Okay, I recently met up with a couple of friends that came from Singapore. They were here because there's like a metal festival going on.
Wait, in Munich?
Not in Munich. In Germany, I think. Yeah, in
Okay.
Germany. I forgot which part of Germany. It's called Wacken. It's like a heavy metal festival. So they flew in from Singapore to Munich, and then I catch up with them. So both of them. So there's like my friend and his girlfriend. And then both of them are Malaysians actually.
Okay.
Used to be Malaysians, now Singaporeans.
Okay.
And then when I was talking to the girlfriend, I realized that one benchmark of how you know if a Malaysian has become Singaporean or become more integrated in Singapore is they use the word kakia.
Kakia.
Do you know what's the meaning of the word kakia?
No.
Kakia is like my lang, my mazai, like my subordinate, my team,
Okay.
right? So kakia is a very Singapore term to use. So I also have a friend, another friend that moved from Malaysia, now working in Singapore as well. Then I met up with them when I went back, and then they also started saying the word kakia, even though they don't really speak Hokkien.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, like you are Singaporean already because you say the word kakia means you're like very integrated in.
You also didn't know what it means.
No, I know what it means because
You-
I know Hokkien. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Hokkien, but my Hokkien is different lah, so I didn't know what.
Right. Yeah, I feel kakia is a more Singaporean term to use. Like in Malaysia, you sometimes hear it, but we usually say your lang or your mazai. I think it's more Cantonese centric in Malaysia, right? So in Singapore, like kakia, okay. Like for me, it's like now this has become a benchmark for me to like know like how integrated you are in
I see.
Singapore. So you say kakia like Singaporean, even though you have whole Malaysian passport like Singaporean.
Yeah, don't discriminate lah.
this is not a discrimination.
Until they get the Singaporean passport, then you can say you Singaporean. No. We don't discriminate whether you're Malaysian, Singaporean. It's fine. Sometimes I think there is a unspoken or rather subtle rivalry
I do like
between
that rivalry.
between Singaporean and Malaysians.
But
you
it's-
do
it's-
like it?
I mean I like the annoying part when Malaysia has nothing better to talk about other than food. It's like, can we
Okay.
improve as a nation?
Yes, I wanted to say like we will die on that hill, right?
Yeah.
Like we will die
Yeah.
saying Malaysian
No,
food is
I
better.
realize there's 2 things now whenever this thing comes out. One is, for some reason, water comes into play.
Water.
Yeah, because now Singapore buys a lot of water from Malaysia, right? So it's like, we just cut off your water lah.
Chey.
But Singapore also have self-sustaining water supply,
Yeah.
what? So it's like,
They filter their own water.
to me, this point is moot lah. So it's like talking about food. Then they're like, typical Singapore will be like, exchange rate 3.5 or don't know however high now.
Yeah, they have. I recently watched a very funny Instagram. I think one of the radio DJs like made this song about 3.5.
In Malaysia or in Singapore?
Yeah, in
Malaysia,
Malaysia, yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
Why would Singapore care?
And they were like making it a song like parody song. I don't know if I can still find it, but it was very funny.
Okay.
很痛啊 or something like that.
Right.
It's a very funny song.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, enough about the Singapore tangent. So coming back to summer
Yes.
in Germany /
Currently
Europe.
it's summer.
Yes.
Right now it's almost August. It's about end of July.
Yes, almost.
Usually people who live in New York. New York? Did I say New York?
I think you try to say Europe, but you're not saying New York.
Yeah. Okay. So people in Europe treasure summer a lot, and I come to realize why, because they get seasonal depression when it's autumn or winter, right?
I think not just that lah. Just having longer days just make you feel good also lah. Like, after work I got time to do stuff, right?
And then it's 10 p.m. And then it's like, it's 10 p.m.
yeah, and then your sleep schedule is like whoop.
So yeah, summer usually people go on vacation, like have fun.
Yes.
Have
Also,
a
it's
lot of
school
fun and
holidays.
stuff.
Also,
Yeah. For the parents.
yeah. Yeah.
So I also did some traveling in summer, and well, especially because one of them was because my friend in Norway got married, so I went to
Congratulations, I guess.
yeah, congratulations to her. Your wedding was beautiful, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Is there
it's
something
really,
you want to
really
go
nice.
into, like the whole wedding? Oh, okay, sorry. Your friend is Malaysian, right?
Correct.
And I guess she's marrying someone native to the region.
Yeah, she's marrying a Norwegian.
Right. I'm so okay. Might not be. I'm curious about the whole process and whatnot. And
It's not my story to
yeah,
share.
exactly. That's why
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
maybe you're
Maybe
not the.
not,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe next time if you can get her, maybe question
Who
mark.
knows? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can ask
No
her.
pressure.
I can ask her. But yeah, it's not my story to share. But
Yeah.
basically, what I can share is that their wedding
Mm.
was very beautiful, and because of her wedding, I went to Oslo, and then I also did some sort of like a short Scandinavian trip. So after Oslo, I went to somewhere near Gothenburg. It's called Orust.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and Sweden, and then after that, me and my friend went to, not the friend who got married, another friend went to Copenhagen.
People got married immediately. Like you're not gonna have your honeymoon now. You're coming with me on a trip.
No. Another friend. So we went to Sweden, and then Denmark, Copenhagen,
Yeah.
and then after that we took the train back to Berlin. So that was like 2 weeks ago, and then just last week I also went to Prague.
Ah, right. Yeah.
So two trips so far in summer,
Okay.
and
Damn.
it was really fun.
And but these 2 trips were like planned a long time ago. Not a long time ago.
Yes.
It was pre-planned
was
a while
pre-planned.
ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was pre-planned like a bit.
How many times
few
have you
months
been
ago.
into Prague now? Because 3, 4?
Last week would be third
Okay.
time.
And
I've been to
you
Prague.
would still consider going back to Prague?
I am actually planning to go in October.
Wow. What
Well-
is such a okay? I can understand why you want to go back to a place continuously. Like for me, my place would be Busan, but I haven't gone back since like the pandemic started. I've been there now 3 times already, and I still want to go back.
Okay.
So I can totally understand wanting to go back to a place. My curiosity is then like, what's so attractive about the place? Is it the people? Is it the food? Or is it just?
But before I answer them, what attracts you to Busan then?
I think the food and like just the more laid back culture of Busan, and they have like a lot of things I look for, like a beach and sea, and then some like more like modern stuff. You know, Busan
Right.
is still like a very thriving city. I like that it's not as busy as Seoul. It's not
yeah.
as touristy as Seoul.
Well, it is the second biggest city
But
in
it's not
South
as
Korea.
touristy, right? So for me, it's like more. I don't like Seoul because it's just extremely touristy. Yeah, and then I get to chill. And I also like the Busan dialect lah. So
Ah,
totally,
반문나?
totally 좋아요.
반문나? Yeah.
Yeah.
That just means have you eaten in Busan
Yeah.
dialect. Why do I know? Because I used to live in Busan for 4 months for exchange program. But that aside, I think slightly different from your experience. I think Prague is super touristy.
Okay.
It's like huge amount of tourists,
Okay.
especially during summer. Like last week I went, like
Okay.
crowded,
Right.
really, really crowded. But the reason why I love Prague, and it's so far my favorite European city, a lot to do, I realize, is because of nostalgia. So I've been there first time 2018,
Okay.
and second time was last November,
Okay.
which is 2023.
Yep.
And so I think it's just very beautiful. The first time I've been, 2018, it just struck me as, oh my god, this city is so beautiful.
Okay.
And by that time I've been to Amsterdam, I've been to Paris,
Right.
so some European cities, but nothing struck me like Prague struck me
Right.
that time. So it was really beautiful.
Okay. I was-
Beautiful in a sense. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was wondering, like, is it because Amsterdam and Paris are like very urban cities, right? I guess Prague is not as Prague. It's not as urban, maybe. Does feel
It
that way?
would be slightly, I think, more old school in a sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it has more. Well, not to say. I mean, Amsterdam itself is also very old. You know, the
Right,
buildings are
okay,
very
okay.
old. But I think the feeling of Prague is just everywhere you see, it's beautiful. I don't know how to explain it, but
Okay.
my first experience there 6-7 years ago was when I was there. Each corner, like sometimes I would just take a stroll, and then they have a lot of alleyways that it just leads you to a magical place. I don't know how to explain it.
You can include like one picture here or
Sure,
something.
yeah. And the Charles Bridge, super famous
Okay.
bridge. Everybody goes there.
Okay.
But I think in 2018 I went there super early in the morning. It was winter, and
Right.
nobody was there. And it's such a magical thing. And
Okay.
I think later on the day, we walked on the Charles Bridge, and suddenly it started snowing.
Right, right.
And it was the first experience of snow that was not wet rain.
Okay, yeah, I
Because
get what
back
you mean.
then
No,
I
no,
went
yeah.
to I lived in Korea, right?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
like I said. So it was like pat, pat, pat,
Snow
you know?
rain kind
like
of thing. Yeah.
ice blended started falling from the sky, that kind. So it was not romantic at all. But but that time during in Prague was really nice. It's just, flaky and it's magical. It's just, I think it's most of it is just pure nostalgia.
Right.
Like I really
I think the
love that
vibe,
place.
it's just
Yeah,
like
the
it's a
vibe.
very nice vibe.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
And the food was okay. It's not too bad. Like I love okay, I'm gonna butcher this. Svichkova. Like
Okay.
it's like meat and then with bread dumplings
Okay, maybe
and
like a picture here,
raspberry
I guess.
raspberry sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a picture,
Yeah.
which I yeah. And the beer. Okay, Germans would kill me, maybe. Germans would unalive me. But yeah, I think Czech beer is superior. I love, well, for me at least, preferences, right? So I like Czech beer.
Yeah,
I think it's lighter and it's very refreshing, and especially on a hot summer day,
Right.
nothing
okay.
beats it. And it's cheap. It's so cheap. Like a 500 milliliter would be about like 2-3 euros.
Okay.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get even cheaper, like maybe 20 euro cents. Like the bottles are
Okay.
not
Okay. Yeah.
not
yeah.
out of the tap,
Yeah. Yeah.
but in grocery stores. Because I have a friend who lives there.
yeah. Right.
He's Czech, and he told me, yeah, you could get dirt cheap beer.
Right.
like
If you know the
really,
place. then,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's why I like Prague. Nostalgia, very beautiful city, very friendly people, dog friendly as well. Food is good, beer is good, and also I went on a hike. So it's not just in Prague. Prague itself is very hilly
Okay.
already. Sometimes you walk, and it's very walkable. So you don't really need to buy any.
Public transport.
Yeah,
tickets and-
yeah. You
okay.
could just walk, and I mean, you could get from one place to another 30 minutes walk. And it's really walkable, unlike in Berlin, because Berlin, like, you walk anywhere probably an hour, 2 hours. Yeah, and also very affordable city as compared to Berlin or
Yeah.
maybe Munich. So yeah, I also did a hike outside of Prague, to this castle called Karlstein, and me, my friend, and my dog went on a 9-hour hike, and it
Ooh,
was like a half
okay.
marathon length. It was 21 kilometers. So from one place, Karlstein, to Berun, another
Was it just a
city.
long hike, not like a tall hike?
Oh, it was like there was elevation, like
Oh,
up
okay,
down,
okay,
up down,
right, right.
some flats
Right,
and
right.
whatnot. Yeah, it was really nice, and I tried to do that hike back in 2018, but I couldn't finish because it was winter, like I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, cold is not just the only factor, but the
Sleep-
daylight.
Yeah. Yeah.
daylight.
Daylight.
So it started going dark at around
3, 4,
3,
yeah.
4 p.m. So it was just too dangerous
Yeah,
for us to
yeah,
continue.
yeah.
So that's why this time I was like, I need to do it. I need to finish it, and I did finish it. It took 9 hours, and yeah, it was great to be able to finally finish it, even though my body felt like it was dying.
I mean,
the
you,
next day.
you don't usually go on like such long hikes,
No,
right?
yeah.
So when you do this, it's like, of course, it's gonna like burden your body. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm glad I finally finished it after 6-7 years, and yeah, it's a checklist done. Yeah, so that has been my summer. How about you?
Oh yeah.
Do you like summer?
Love,
Tell us how much you love
it a
summer.
lot. Best season ever. The longer days, love it. Doesn't affect my sleep at all.
I'm totally not sarcastic at all, by the way.
And also all the insects, very wonderful. All the butterflies, right? Definitely no flies, no wasps, nothing like that.
Well, at least they don't have cockroaches, lah. That's what I'm happy about.
Sometimes I do see cockroaches there.
What? I've never seen
In the
one.
U-Bahn, I see cockroaches.
Oh, okay lah.
Yeah.
Never seen one yet.
Really?
So far.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen
Don't
rats.
jinx
and
it. I think you go back your apartment, you open your door. It's like,
Chai. Chai. No. Okay, no.
Rats, yeah, I see one
Rats
or two
in
occasional
U-Bahns
rats.
lah, yeah, all the time in
one or two
Berlin.
occasional rats. Okay. Yeah, I think bees are still fine. It's wasps that are the super annoying one. That evening when I went back itself, I was like, okay, I want dinner. I'm gonna cook, and then I open the window. Immediately, one wasp fly in. I'm like, dude, seriously? Okay. And the reason why I'm so annoyed, because you might be thinking, oh, it's just a wasp only, ma. Just like, slap the life out of it, lah. Okay, so yes, I can't like slap the life out of this wasp because in Germany specifically they have a few laws regarding nature preservation. They have like I need to refer this so I don't get this wrong. So they have like a federal nature no, that's wrong. Conservation Act. I wrote the wrong thing there. Right? It's like Federal Nature Conservation Act. I wrote conversation. Autocorrect.
Conservation.
Conservation Act. So as part of this act, there's also like a sub act that includes like a bunch of insects and animals that you're not supposed, like it's illegal to harm them. And wasps, I think certain species of wasps falls under that list.
Okay.
So in general, like in layman terms, it's kind of illegal to kill wasps.
How do you know the one that flew into your house is wild and protected?
I have no idea, but better not to like, do
anger the government.
Yeah, I don't know. They just come in like, okay, you're deported because
because you killed.
Yeah.
You killed. I bet. Because you removed.
Because you slapped the life out of these wasps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think again, this is not legal advice, but if you search like
not legal advice.
Yeah, not legal advice. We are not lawyers.
No.
But if you search on the internet, usually a lot of people ask about this as well because it's a known thing in Germany, right? Like bees or wasps, I don't want to use the word unalive, but I can't think of a better word to use. But if you
kill them,
get rid of them, right? It's kind of illegal. So a lot of people will ask this on the internet, and I think the general consensus would be, if it's one or two like in your room and you can't figure a way to get them out, like it's okay. But for example, if let's say there's a nest right next to your house or next to your window, then usually for this you definitely want to call authority or other people to come and like remove that away, so you're not involved in like some people will try to DIY and burn the nest or that sort of thing.
Okay. I thought I was just like, who would be so crazy enough to remove it on their own? Because like,
have you lived in Malaysia? Hello.
I mean, they would sting, no? Like I
yes,
wouldn't
exactly.
do that.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
But some people will like, I mean, not in Germany, but in Malaysia, some people will like take the old newspaper, burn, smoke, and then DIY all their way.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how creative a lot of our uncle and aunties in Malaysia can be.
Yeah. I never had that lah, because back in Malaysia, I think the most frequent one would probably be a snake infection. The snake would come into my house and then have to remove the snake. Yeah. But never had like wasps so far.
I think Malaysia there's not many species of wasps also, and they generally just not. I think Malaysia the most annoying thing would be mosquitoes. Yeah, or centipedes. Flies. I think. Yeah. Centipedes. I think centipedes.
Cockroaches.
Cockroaches. Yes, that's the most annoying thing. But they're not protected, so.
They lived through the dinosaur years. They can live through this slipper.
Okay. So yeah, the wasp flew in. I'm like, oh god. Then I opened my door and like, can you please just show yourself out? I don't want to deal with you. Yeah. So eventually it went out. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I can go on with my life. So that's it's not that I hate insects. It's just that when it's this sort of, it's annoying to deal with. Like flies as well. Like summer is just fly season for me. Like
summer is insect season.
Insect season, normal lah. But it's like some insects is like you're there and then you go away, okay lah. But flies, got one time I have 5 flies in my kitchen. I'm like, dude, I was so pissed off.
I like how passionate you are about this.
I'm like, can you all just go out? Like, no, just fly here, fly there, annoying the shit out of me. And I'm like, okay, you're not protected.
Not protected by
take my slipper and like 1 down, 4 more to go. It's like I open the window, you all don't want to go. Some more your friend come in more. Like again, I don't hate insects, but
I think that disclaimer is losing its power.
But yeah, so this is one of the reasons why I absolutely adore summer.
Yeah, I remember one time seeing wasps just in the bakery. And I think they also like something sweet,
they like
right?
sweet stuff, yeah.
So there's I think sugar glazed pastry.
Yeah.
And there were just like 5, 6, I don't know how many, just on the thing.
Yeah, and then the staff just leave it be.
Yeah,
Right?
just let it be
yeah.
because
Protected.
what
mah.
are you gonna do about it, you know? But I think
Yeah.
nobody is gonna buy that thing lah. But
Yeah, for sure. I think though they won't sell it. It's like even if someone asks for it, they'll probably take like another one rather than sell that.
because they also
because-
cannot, remove it.
Yeah, there's also like strict laws when it comes to all this and like food regulation and stuff like that. So yeah. Let's move away from insects.
Yeah, that couldn't be your summer, right? That's not your whole summer. So what
No,
about?
of course I'm not fighting with flies every other day. Oh my god, there will be.
Oh yeah, you started this German language course. I think.
Yes, I started attending intensive German language course.
How intensive was it?
It's Monday to Thursday every week. Every day it's about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow.
So it's like 5:45 to 8 o'clock every day.
So that's right after work you have to go there.
Yeah, right after. Actually, I
my
have to leave early from work sometimes because sometimes they'll be meeting until like 6. So I'm like, okay, I already told the team like, okay, I have a hard stop at 5. So if you don't end, I just like quietly leave and on my way. And I knew I wouldn't like it. I knew I would complain about it, but I still gonna do it anyway because this is the only way I can force myself to do it.
But how long is it gonna take this
2
intensive?
months.
Okay.
Roughly 2 months. So it's the entire A1 level. So A1. So in Europe they use a standard CFR, I think, common reference for language framework, something like that for languages. So A1 is like very basic. They have A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, and C2 is like your
Native.
near native already. So yeah, A1 is like a very basic level. So yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Okay.
I think it's struggling because one, it's because you go to class and then there's homework to do as well, and I really feel like I have no life when I have classes. So it's like I go to work, I go to class, I go back, I do homework, and then next day I go to bed, and then next day I go to work again. So that cycle repeats for like 4 days, and sometimes I feel like I don't have like my life is go to class.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also
It's only 2 months, right?
yeah.
For A1 lah, I mean,
yeah.
but do you intend to continue?
No, I think because in like September, October, there are things like September is reason, Oktoberfest. So I'm like, I don't want to miss classes. I feel like once you miss 1 or 2 classes, it's a bit hard to catch up already.
Okay.
So I don't want to miss classes. So if I know like there'll be events, I don't really want to. Maybe in the future I will do it in like spring or maybe summer
Yeah.
again. So another reason why I'm doing it now in summer is because of the longer days. Like one of my colleague convinced me like just do it in summer because when you go and you finish the class and you come out, when you see it's bright, you don't feel as depressed. And if you do it in winter, it's like it's all dark. You have to wear your jacket, and if it's snowing, it's slippery, and
Yeah.
you get more depressed.
Yeah.
Even
you get demotivated also lah. a bit.
yes, yeah. So I'm doing this. I think I quite like the class. So I mean, I'm learning one thing. The things I'm struggling is just like the no life aspect, which is fine. I just had to deal with it, and also a lot of studying because it's so intense, right? It's not like you do once a week, then you can have time to like they don't teach as much if you do once a week, and then you have time to revise the material. This is like 4 days, and then you have to. There's a lot of material to revise upon, so that's like the thing. But I do like that. Obviously people who are going to the class are not Germans, so you have like you get to know a wider circle as well, people from different walks of life and that sort of thing. I think that's like the fun aspect of one of it.
What would you say like you have learned so far? Basic hi bye and
I think
those
like
things?
the basic verb conjugations or like like ich bin, hast du, ich haben, that sort of thing, and then how certain different verbs transform differently. Also,
you mean like accusative?
yes, accusative, nominative,
dative.
accusative, yeah, stuff like that, and all the gendered stuff, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, German language is also gendered, like many other languages, like Spanish,
European,
French.
yeah, European languages
they're
are quite
all gendered.
Yeah.
But there's no logic as to why this word is
Yeah.
gendered this way. So you just have to force yourself to remember.
And it can be very. I'm gonna use the word annoying because let's say. I think accusative, right? If I'm a guy, and I say I own something that is supposedly a female, then it changes the word. Like whether I'm a guy and refers to something like a male thing or refer to something as a female thing, you use a different different article. So I'm like, okay, I need to remember this. So slightly
Yeah.
because it's not just me, right? It's my thing as well. Right? So that thing also determines what article to use. So I'm like, oh, I need to. I mean, I can. So I was talking to my friend from Singapore. Right? I said like I can bulldoze everything and just say everything is D. No, not D. What's the neutral?
Thus.
Yeah, that's D, right? Yeah, that's. So I can just say everything is neutral, but then people will be like, I guess your German level is like that, right? Because you can't differentiate whether it's
Yeah.
the book or das book, right? So or the book, I don't remember. See, exactly my point. Like, but people will know what you're saying, right? You're like, okay, you're talking about the book, but then it's like there's a subconscious judgment on like, okay, your German level is
It's fine. What I mean, it just for me, like at least it means that I'm still learning.
yeah.
I think what's annoying, I would say, well, slightly annoying, is that when I try to speak in Berlin and people just reply me in English because they just be like, okay, just make it easy for you, lah, huh? I know you don't speak
Let's
German,
make life easier for both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the kind. But I
Yeah.
think it would be better if you correct me instead, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well. Also, I don't want to start building bad habits. Just like I
So
said,
grammatical habits,
yeah, I could bulldoze it, right? But once I build a habit out of bulldozing this, it's like I very hard to change it. I definitely noticed this in like, for example, my Japanese. I have a bad habit. A lot of bad habits now, and I'm like, oh shit, I have to like restart from zero now just to fix my bad habits. So yeah, language is fun. I don't.
It is.
Yeah.
It is kind of fun.
Yeah. But German is one of the languages where I'm learning without consuming any materials because like I think Japanese and Korean materials are very much not materials but media is very much accessible in Malaysia, for example. A lot of people watch Korean dramas, for example. It's very easy to get Korean dramas on Netflix and whatnot, so you can just consume. Like even if you never formally study the language, you would know terms because you just watch it so much,
Yes.
right? But for me, I never had that interest with German, so it's like, oh, I don't have media to don't have lah. It's just like I don't have anything that interests me to consume. I think that's.
I think also because there are so many, because Germans dub everything, right? So
Right, yeah.
technically, you could also watch, let's say, your favorite series and then in German lah. I mean, it would be excruciating maybe, but then
I'm just
you
not
know,
a dub person.
That's an option.
I'm more like a
Yeah.
sub person. So yeah.
Could also put on German sub and then try to understand.
Oh, but it's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible as well. Like
And also,
watch
there's
the show.
recently a very famous song, the Rhabarber, on TikTok. I don't know if you know.
I probably don't.
Abracadabra, and then like it's a German song, and
Okay.
everybody was dancing to it. So
Okay.
that's like a German tongue twister song.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
Interesting.
show you later. But
Right. No
so
worries.
that would be like my first German media that I would consume because it's so it's so
okay.
fun. The
Right,
song
right,
is actually very
right,
fun. I
okay.
like that song. But yeah, like I said,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
said
it's
also.
it's not that it's hard to find this sort of material. Like, there are plenty, right? And especially like when it comes to, I think easiest is like, okay, what do you read as a child? Like, what are the folklores or stories? Like, in Asian culture, we already know there's a lot of this, right? Like when we were like primary school, for example, like 三国演义 and 西游记, Journey to the West and Romance of Three Kingdoms. These are very common things that we will read, and then it's like it's easy to recommend. We know what to do. I think the equivalent is mapping that to like what do German reads for this kind of.
How you read those?
No, definitely in
read,
primary
like-
school. Not
okay, okay,
I
okay.
mean not personally lah, but in primary
Right.
school they were like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
Required literature, required
Yes,
reading.
yeah. But it's like more simplified lah, because like we know a lot of idioms in Chinese, for example, comes from Romance from the Three Kingdoms, right? And we know quite a few idioms from there. And then the stories behind those idioms, right? Because
For
of
me,
that.
those were very difficult to understand because the Chinese or the Mandarin used is older Mandarin. So
I don't disagree. I think that's more. I feel, if I remember correctly, that's more like the later, like maybe late primary or early secondary stages. But like the
yeah.
early primary is usually
三字经.
more. That's one, but also I think like if you do Romance in the Three Kingdoms when you're lower primary, it's usually more simplified so that you can understand it. Like 孔明借箭, for example. I think there's like a simplified stories
Okay,
about
like a
that.
short story,
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
whole thing.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
I was thinking also like Hong Lo Meng. I did Hong Lo
Oh,
Meng.
no.
And it's like so hard
It's
to
very
understand.
because the starting is like this stone about this thing, and then
I
the
don't
story
remember
goes to
much
this
already,
family.
to be
Yeah.
to be fair.
No, Holomon also doesn't translate well. What is I don't remember the English title. It's
we
definitely not
could
Red Mansion
put it
Dream.
here. Yeah. No, we could put it here after I Google it or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. But those I legit think that those required readings I did not retain that much information
Right,
purely
okay.
because it was the older
Right,
Mandarin
right. It
that
was
I
Wen
don't
Yan Wen.
that I don't
yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I read it's not any better, but I read some stuff like Condor Heroes, like Sen
Yeah,
Diao
yeah,
Xia
yeah,
Li,
yeah, yeah.
and yeah,
The
Jin
wuxia,
Yong's
yeah, yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
Tian Long Bao Bu.
Okay. Yeah, Tianlong Babu. But
So-
this, I think that's more advanced already. Like it feels like a B1, B2 level kind of reading already. So A1 you'll be more like what do primary school
Like
students read?
Hansel Gretel, maybe B1,
yeah.
A1.
But
Yeah.
I don't know because I'm not sure if like originally Grimm, right, the author, like wrote those in like
German or not?
no, I think it's in German, but whether it's like easy to access
okay.
as a beginner.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't know. You would like to know like what kind of books.
I mean, it's not hard to find, but that's like one thing I have to think about, like assessing this sort of material.
What
But-
I did was I bought a comic book, but it's in German.
Okay.
So I tried
Was it
to
originally in
understand.
German or?
No, it's about Anne Frank actually, the comic.
Okay.
So
okay.
it's not German. I mean, she is a Jewish
Yeah.
who's Dutch, I think. She lived in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So no, the story, her diary, I think, was not in German.
Yeah.
So the comic was, written in German,
Yeah.
and I forced myself to read. I could not understand anything,
Yeah.
but it just made it fun to read because
Yeah,
it's comic,
yeah,
right? And it's
yeah.
like shorter
Yeah.
somehow.
I usually, for me, I prefer like if the original source is in German. I don't, regardless of whatever language, I've always prefer if the original source, like I consume the content in the original source. I think that's what I prefer. But yeah, it's good to like start to like when you hear people talking like, okay, I know one or two words, you start to unlock. Like it used to be gibberish all over. Now I know like aber is
Yeah,
but, right?
yeah.
Okay, I know like aber whatever, and then like,
Yeah.
okay, I can like slowly decode some words. So,
Yeah.
okay, that's fun lah. I think that's also part of the motivation. Like, there's a feedback loop on like, okay, when I go out now, it's like people talking on the train, not deliberately eavesdropping, but it's like talking
sure?
like I can't even understand 80% of it.
Yeah.
I think also it's for me it's like kind of like testing my listening as well. So I try to okay, fine. I guess this is called eavesdropping already.
Yeah.
But I will listen just to because I think German speaks very fast. Obviously, their native language they speak very fast,
Yes.
right? So in the classroom setting, a lot of things are slowed down, right? So I also want to like try to, make sure I'm not getting used to things being slowed. So that's why I like okay on the train or whenever. I still cannot understand train announcements though. So
Oh, speaking of train announcements, yesterday there was an announcement on the train, and it was a whole length of thing, and I
Okay.
just picked up some words
Okay.
like technisches, and then Verspätung, and then
Okay.
Entschuldigung.
Ah,
I was like, okay, then I made up okay, I know 3 words, then I made up the story already. Like, okay, there's a technical problem. We're gonna have a delay. We're very sorry about it.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I think it helps a lot to even just know some of those words.
It helps. Definitely, this is the fun. Like I said, this helps with the feedback loop and the motivation as well. So I'm like, okay, I can feel myself improving, and I think that's very common for when you get into a new thing or new language, right? You can see yourself
Yes,
improving. Then you hit
yeah.
like a ceiling on like to get to the next level, you have to put in a lot more effort. I definitely feel this way about, for example, my Japanese. Right? Like I mentioned, I built a lot of bad habits. I need to relearn a lot of things to break those bad habits, and I need to read more. I need to write more just to improve my Japanese now. Like I really need to put in effort. It's not just like, oh, you watch anime, you can get by. No, you actually have to like, yeah.
Would you also think that it really depends on your main purpose that you want to learn the language? Because, for example, if I were to learn German, it's just primarily to understand and to converse with other people.
Okay.
So I would not think that I need to have perfect grammar,
Right.
at least. And God knows that my Mandarin is no longer, my Mandarin is not great lah. Like I started watching Chinese dramas,
Okay.
and they're like, oh, what they're saying, and I legit have to read the subtitle. Okay, what are they
No,
saying?
I think a lot of times for me it's the accent that
Okay.
throws me. Also, to be fair, I think native like Chinese they speak very fast. I have a few Chinese classmates, and we take like the same train. Like we leave the class with the same train, and then sometimes when I hear them talk, I'm like, oh, this is challenging for me to catch up because they talk really fast. I don't know if this is a me issue or this is like, my Chinese just also not being very good, or it's just like, okay, but they
Should we
speak really
challenge
fast.
ourselves? Like do one episode purely in Mandarin.
Oof. I don't think I've had, when we say a full episode in Chinese, we cannot do it the Malaysian way. Malaysian, we mix a lot of words in one.
Okay lah, then do a Malaysian episode
Why
lah.
not? So then what's the difference with now? Now also we
True.
mix in a lot of
Okay,
Chinese
so
as well.
it's no longer a challenge. Maybe we can do a short clip lah, probably not the whole episode because I think I'm not confident with my level. Even though I call it, even though I say that it's my mother tongue, it's a bit tough.
I think that's a very interesting topic to talk about, mother tongue, because for me, I think stereotypically, if you're Malaysian Chinese and you're not you weren't born into like a banana family, most people would assume your mother tongue is Chinese. I think that's what I identified when I was younger. Then when I'm now around this age, I think actually for me my mother tongue would be English actually, because I speak English with my immediate family, but with like extended family relatives, it's either Mandarin or dialect, right? Some form of dialect, right? But it's not a common thing I will use every day.
Right.
That's how this is more like a self-identification thing. But I don't like to be, I feel I definitely don't fit into the banana role. Like I definitely not a banana.
Well, a banana is somebody who is yellow on the outside and white on the inside. Well, what it means is just you look Chinese, but you don't really speak Chinese.
Is it a
Derogatory term? I don't know, but it's a term to describe people who
Okay.
look Asian or look
Mostly
Chinese in general, but they
Malaysian
don't.
context lah. I don't
Yeah.
think it's used anywhere else outside of Malaysia, or maybe it's considered offensive in like, I don't know, the Asian American
Perhaps.
community. I have
Yeah,
no idea.
Perhaps
Yeah.
it might be though. Now that you have mentioned it.
Okay. No harm intended.
Yeah, but I guess I also sort of get what you mean because now I feel my first language has slowly become English, slowly but surely, purely because that's the main language that I converse
Yeah, there's no
in
other
and
people
use.
you can speak Mandarin with here, I think. Yeah, and if you speak with, for example, China Chinese, the words they use are very different. The way they talk are very different. So sometimes it's like, yeah, we have to use their terms, because sometimes I use like, for example, videos for them is like 视频, right? And I'm very used to saying 影片, 看影片, and then it's like, what's 影片? Or 视频, yeah, stuff like that.
I also find myself changing the terms when I speak to different people, like Taiwanese and also Chinese. Malaysian also different lah, because obviously we can mix a whole lot of different languages. As
And
you can see, we keep doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's languages.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I hope you still have a life though. Like,
I mean, weekend now, but for me, weekend now is like recovering from this and revising. It's like, oh, I'm so tired the whole week, and then summer, wonderful season, yay! so nice.
Yeah, but it's also 2 months, right? Then probably
Yeah.
you will feel it.
I'm definitely looking forward to. I think for me, typically, even regardless of other languages I learn, like if I go to a class, I'm like, I can't wait for the class to end.
Just any class in
Yeah,
general.
whatever. Even though it's like, oh, I like this language, I'm very interested in it. But when I go to the class, I'm like, I can't wait this to end. I can't wait to go home. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's so far our summer. I think there's also 1 month more to go.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know if I have anything planned actually for August since I couldn't get Adele tickets.
Oh, for me, it's just finishing my class.
How to wrap this up?
Learning languages are hard. Duh.
Learning languages are hard, but perhaps being in Munich would help a little because
Yeah, I definitely feel. I think I was talking to a colleague who's from Berlin, and I mentioned that when I was in Berlin, like a lot of places were English first. He also said kind of like there has been complaints, like oh, Berlin is English first kind of thing. That there have been some people who complain about that.
Yeah, I think Berlin, it would be okay also, but I think Berlin definitely you can get by with just English.
Okay.
So maybe
Yeah.
the immersion is not that
Yeah.
as much as
Yeah.
Berlin. Sorry, as much as
Yeah,
much as
actually,
Munich.
I think I definitely talked about it in one of the previous episodes. But like immersion can be if you don't like if you work in a purely
International.
English environment, right, and you don't have other activities outside of that, like if you just work and go home, then there's really no immersion because you go to the shop, you can just like point this thing, I want this one, right? That's all. You don't.
Yeah,
You're not going to engage
Yeah.
in very complex conversation with whoever serving you. So outside of that, unless you're in a social circle of sorts or social circle or activities of sorts, you really don't immerse in the language.
or you get yourself into trouble. Like for example, you get yourself hospitalized, then you have to figure your way around.
Oh yeah, that's a story for another time, right?
Yes. So if you're curious about the German healthcare system, we're gonna do an episode on that because I have plenty to share. And
I have nothing to share.
but yeah, so we're gonna do an episode on that soon, hopefully. And yeah, this has been great.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time. So like, follow, and subscribe wherever you're listening to us. And yeah, comments if you have any questions. That's all.
That's it, I think. All right, see you all next episode. Bye.
See you. Tschüss.